Hello, I have actually finished the first video because I thought I was live and I wasn't. That was a hoot. I'm gonna get myself a drink. All right, a glass. Do 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 do. Okay, move these things. Da, 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 da. Da, da. Ice cube. Big old ice cube. Right. As no one's here, I just going to go over here. Right, there's this. Quick wash. I'm not fighting. And I think the dealer is in the dishwasher. Actually, I'm going to try and find this other peeler that I haven't used for a while. There it is. Okay. This fucking thing makes me nervous. Hello, Johnny. Sorry, I was off doing stuff. Oh, psych ward. Fun times. Well, I hope they're taking care of you, man. And as much as we might make light of such things or, say it's a bad thing, if you get in good care, it's a good thing. So I hope it works for you, man. And I hope whatever circumstances you're going through improve themselves, maybe with a bit of professional help. Can't hear me. Let me see something. Audio, communications. No, my system says you can hear me. I think. Oh, what the fuck? I think the problem might be at your end. My microphone says it's on. Oh, put that in there. Oh, it's better. Okay. Sorry. Just going to pour myself a drink. Finish off that clarified cocktail. Ooh, I'm going to go get myself a skewer. So, okay. So if you missed me before, basically what I was saying is I hope they're looking after you in the psych ward. It's probably something that people often make light of, whatever, mental health things generally. But if you're in a situation where you need some care, I hope you get good quality care. And I hope you're out pronto. Interesting people. Yes. it isn't going to be boring most times being in a psych ward. Actually, speaking of being institutionalized, I promised to send AIDzee a message to see how he was going. Oh, I should send him the link to start with. There we go, sending the link. Okay, Brandy Alexander's on the doing list. All right. All right. Just texted AIDzee to let him know I sent him the link. I was in communications with him a bit earlier. He was keen to join. He was just trying to gather spoons, as the saying is, to be ready. I might have to promise not to shout at him this time. In my defense, I wanted to shout at him. That's not a very good defense. That is not a very good defense. Fully admitting that. Okay, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to make creamy drinks tonight because I bought some cream from the supermarket and I opened it. And I just made one for Mrs. Angry. So, yeah, I'm going to make a rum flip and Cousin Eddie's eggnog. Brandy, rum, Finette. I don't have my Finette here, I don't think. Ooh, and a whole egg. That one's a whole egg. Okay, he says he's joining us. Okay. So yes, yeah. So hopefully, AIDzee will be here soon. But again, with AIDzee, a couple of minutes is anywhere from now to an hour from now to maybe not at all if difficulties arise. So we'll see. We'll hopefully see him soon. I'm trying to work out what you can see behind me. It's the last of my clarified cocktail, but there's wow. Why am I having so much trouble? There's I don't know if you can see it on the table there. That's a clarified cocktail getting made. John, it's like you when you make. Look, there were a whole number of reasons, and it's different for different people, and it's different for the same people at different times. Quite often, how time can get away from you, and with all the best intentions, things don't always go to plan. I just realized I could put the lids on some stuff and maybe rinse my jigger out. So I'm just going to be on the other side of the camera for a second. Rinse my jigger out because it's got cream in it. I don't want it to go weird. Okay, I'm going to wipe that as well. What are you doing, AIDzee? Are you going to stay with me or are you going to go out there? Whatever whimsical mood you're in. I'm just going to put the lid on this. And I'm going to chuck this tin in recycling because I finished it earlier. Hello, musical aviator. Ah, you're doing a Handel's Messiah gig. Nice. How did that go? Yes, I am a clarified cocktail, John. I put slightly different ingredients in that one. I put a few different flavors in there. And I'm keen to see if I can really notice it in the final version, because the clarification process means you end up with a drink that tastes basically nothing like the thing you started with. Wow. 2 solid days playing Baroque music on a period trumpet. Yeah. I got a bit hiccupy then, without much warning. I think it's settled down now. Oof, that was a bit weird. It's raining at the moment, not heavily, but it is raining. What's it look like on the radar? It's okay. So the temperature's dropped 10 degrees, so that's good. Holy shiz! There is a. I don't know if that's going to show up. There's a fuck ton of rain, and it's moving really fast. That is, unless they've changed the time scale, which, as I look at it, they might have. Oh, now they have a predicted pattern. Oh, that is actually new. But anyway, the rain is there's a lot of it, and it's moving fairly fast. There you go. Hello, Lee. So, yes. Wait, is it going to rain tomorrow? I'm going to the office tomorrow. Rare times I go into the office. It fucking shits me if it's raining when I do. Yes, it's raining. Fucking great. All week. It's raining a lot tomorrow. Fucking great. And I'm probably going in on Wednesday as well. What's that? It's raining possibly a bit on Wednesday. God damn. God damn. What a pain. Oh. Well, what are you going to do? Got to just struggle on one way or t'other. Yes. This weird old spring and summer we're having, much colder and wetter. I suppose cooler is a bit more accurate than colder, although some of it's felt cold. Good old La Nina, third La Nina in a row. So it's cooler and wetter than normal. So I think the folks that try and keep us safe from bushfires are going to be doing a lot of controlled burns over summer, because it's probably going to be at least relatively safe to do it. Yes, so musical elevator. It is moving fast today. Wind speed 1 knot on the ground, 9 knots at 2,000, 50 knots at 5,000 feet. All right. Oh, nice. Good on you, Lee. Good results. Like to see it. Kudos. So I have to decide what I'm going to make. Oh, God, they're both flips. I just realized both. Do I want to eat 2 eggs tonight? That is a big question. Because I was going to do a rum flip. Damn. Wait, what's in a Porn Star Martini Snowball? My own creation. Yeah, I imagine with those winds you're describing, it would have been a bumpy ride playing at 40,000 feet. It was all 4,000. It's the intercontinental flights that go at 40,000, isn't it? I feel like that's the name of the Twilight Zone episode where William Shatner's passenger who sees like gremlin on the wing of the plane. Terror at 40,000 feet. Oh, nice. Lee, your friend's Mare again? Well, that's nice. And hey, Heine, how's it going? Just grooving along the end of a weekend. Sorry, I'm just like, I got distracted. I feel my nails. I feel like maybe I should have trimmed my nails. So that's one of my big concerns in the world. How easy is my life? Is that's the things I'm concerned about. Right, yeah, so musical aviator. Big jets are 40,000. Planes coming in to land at Melbourne coming at 4,000. Or little Cessnas. Yes, imagine the non-pressurized light aircraft don't fly at the same height as the pressurized international passenger planes. Lee, well, you wouldn't be alone in ditching Twitter. It is... Well, okay, I was going to say it's quite difficult to work out what the fuck Elon Musk is actually doing, because you're left with the question, is he as stupid as he appears to be? Is it some weird psychological game he's playing? Because on the surface, he's just a fucking moron. Because the shit he's doing and saying is absolutely ridiculous. And it's also this sad, desperate, won't someone please love me? And he's pandering to far-right fucking morons because they simp for him. And it's just like, really? Is your life that shallow, empty, and hollow that you desperately court these fucking losers just because they'll prop up your fucking ego? It's embarrassing to watch. It's also, as I said, it's also confusing because I am sort of leaving open the question, is he as fucking stupid as he seems? Because what we see, public facing stuff we see, he's a fucking moron. Yeah, he's just A grade fucking stupid. And Lee, I know he talks the stuff about Mars. None of these fucking billionaires are doing any space colonization because it will suck. Conditions will be fucking awful. For anyone who spends a lot of time on space stations or goes to the moon, or there might be a crewed flight to Mars at some point, it's going to fucking suck. Conditions will be fucking awful. Him and his talk of Mars is just typical of how he just lies all the time. And hello, Megaleech and Safa. Nice to see you. Safa, working your way through Andor. Good show. I didn't actually watch any TV this weekend. We watched a fair bit of YouTube. As actually mainly because Mrs. Angry and her lad were playing video games for a lot of the weekend, which is cool. Happy to let them do that. I played a bit of video games. Played some Red Dead and some Borderlands 3. I saw a video on YouTube of, treasure I played for, thousands of hours, and I only just found this treasure. And it was like so much gold. And so I followed the instructions and found it. And it was a little bit of treasure with a skeleton next to it that I'd never found before. And it was only, $250. $250 is okay. But I think the biggest gold cache you can find, and that's a lot of fucking around. You have to find 4 different maps to then find the thing. But it's like 6 gold bars. I think it's like $3,000. Now that's a treasure. Each watching it 2.5 times to catch up. Noise. How do you think the Apollo is loud as a vacuum cleaner and they smell like shit? I mean, yeah. Oh, yeah, Safa, cleaning will do that to you. But noble work doing your cleaning. Yeah. No, but it's not just, it's working in low G and, in sealed environments and there's no luxury and it fucking sucks. It is a really weird and obviously false fantasy that any of these billionaires are going to do any space travel, because they're lazy, indulged pieces of shit, every single one of them, and self-absorbed fucking pricks, and they will not do it because it's hardship, it's difficult, it sucks broadly. Oh, good on you, Lee. Ditching the coffee for tea. Greg, good evening. The heck is that? Oh, Shadow, fuck off. Well, I shouldn't have said that. I should have showed Shadow. I made her run away. Make one of her extremely rare appearances on the stream. Hello, Dr. Abigail. Well, I suppose there's always lots of gay stuff happening. Yeah, well, Musk, musically about joking about how badly Elon Musk will run Mars. I mean, but again, just with he is such a piece of shit. Like one of his statements about, going to Mars, starting a colony on Mars, and of course, booking passage to Mars, he's going, would be very expensive. But, people could maybe get to Mars and work off the cost of getting there by working in the colony. He's literally talking about fucking indentured servitude, barely removed from chattel slavery. And he's such a fucking piece of shit. He doesn't even get how fucked the things he says are. Hi, Chris, by the way. He's who a coward. He's Elon Musk a coward. He's a liar. He's a charlatan. He's a con man. If someone was to offer me reasonable odds on him being imprisoned for security fraud in the next 10 years, I would probably take the bet, because he is well and truly in the crosshairs of the SEC for things he says and does. Yeah, Johnny, hopefully AIDzee going to join us. Like it was 20 minutes ago. He said he'd be here soon, so who knows? Chris has got cool space news. Not Crazy Rich Dude space. Artemis moon mission space capsule splashes down today. Cool. What does that mean? Why don't I look that up? What has Artemis been doing? News. Let's look up some news. Free public transport across Victoria on Christmas Day and New Year's Eve. Well, I will not be going anywhere near the city on New Year's Eve. Fucking COVID super spreader event, fuck's sake. All right, so what are we looking up? Artemis. Yeah. Well, it may be the last mission. There's nothing in the news about it. NASA expects humans to live on the moon this decade. Yeah, well, that'd fucking suck. There it is. Heads for Sunday splashdown. It's not ranked as very important news, I'm afraid. Ooh, fly over New Year's Eve. That could be fun. Hey, Justin, how's it going? Okay. So Johnny's just off to share his phone. So I guess he wants everyone to know. He did tell me early on he is actually in the psych ward at the moment. So wishing him all the best. No, I didn't watch the Artemis launch or aware of the missions. I didn't. Chris says the launch was amazing. Okay. So Heine's saying the splashdown is 4 a.m. our time. Okay. Well, okay. Well, that's what it wasn't. Why it wasn't in the news, because it hadn't happened yet. So that was just an orbit mission, wasn't it? Because I thought they were talking about another landing. Did they actually like land on the moon this time, or was it just a orbit around the moon? Because I feel like I would have seen it on the news if there was any sort of moonwalking or anything happening. Ah, yeah, okay, that's what I thought. Oh, and speaking of orbiting the moon, it's AIDzee, and there's a terrible noise at your place.
Is there?
Yeah, like buzzing, like amp buzzing.
I can't hear a thing.
Yeah, well, we can.
Let
Oh, I
me
can.
rejig everything.
All right.
Better, worse?
About the same. It's when you're not talking, there's just noise like an amp buzz.
Okay, let me just see if that's
all right. Dr. Abigail's saying she can't hear you. Does anyone else hear like okay, everyone else says it's fine. Don't worry about it. Don't stress.
But you can, right?
Yeah, but don't worry about it.
Okay.
Everyone's saying it's fine, so don't worry about it.
Okay. If I think of something, I'll let you know.
Yeah.
Mild buzz.
So people can hear it, but they're not bothered by it. All right, it's cool. It's cool. It's cool.
Okay. It's odd.
It is. It's never happened before.
No.
So what's been happening in AIDzee world?
So I'm trying to think of the good things. There's not many of those to go around, unfortunately. I got scammed. And my entire bank account got raided.
Oh yeah, you mentioned that on another stream. Yeah.
Yeah, and they're looking into it, but I have very little. I have very very little confidence in them getting it back.
Yeah.
And it was a clever scam too, because the way they set it up was they had tech support for computers.
Yes.
And they actually completed the tech support well.
Right.
They actually did a good job of it.
Right.
And Then they said, because you've paid this, you have a year's worth of support from us.
Yeah.
And I went, yay. And then they said recently, they said that year's worth of support has now had to go away because we're going out of business. We're going to give you your money back.
I'll give you that detail.
Give us your numbers. And I went, okay, well, here's my numbers. But you don't need these numbers. These are out numbers, not in numbers. Oh, no, it works differently here where we are in India. We need these numbers. Ah, idiot child. Don't give them the out numbers. Never give them the out numbers. Don't give them the out numbers. So I did. And then they went merrily through and scraped up a lot. Except for $11. I don't know why they left $11 in there. And yeah, so I ran around all of my all of my financial systems, sorting out whether I could get some cash. And I went to the bank and they said, "Give us your card." They went, "Crack." I went, "That's awkward. How am I going to get cash?" They're going to go, "You're going to get it cardless." And I went, "Okay." But they were good. They gave me my new card within days. It turned up really fast. So I've got my new card and it's got wholly new numbers on it. And so no one can get at my account now. And unfortunately, the swelling, the edema on my legs is back with a vengeance.
Ugh.
And has opened up a hole on the leg which had closed up completely. That's disappointing. That's very disappointing. And my toes are bad, very bad, very, very bad. The last time they took a swab to find out what bacteria was in there, they swabbed it, and they
all the bacteria.
Well, when they swabbed it, they took some muscle off, and there was bone showing.
Ugh.
So that was awkward, and quite painful. And they were going, "Oh dear, oh that's bad," and I'm going, "Yes, that's bad." And so then I've been sort of trying to keep my legs up and trying to get the swelling down, which is not really working. And I've got double compression on my legs, which is like not, the most fun way to have your legs. And I've got to go back tomorrow morning at 9:00, which means I've got to start here at 5:30.
Oof.
And I've not got a lot of spoons, so I might not be with you very long tonight.
No pressure at all on you.
At the same time, I might get my second wind.
You might.
And by second wind, I mean fart gas. I mean flatulence. I mean I mean arse gas. That's what I mean. There's no getting around the fact that I might be patooting out of my patoot. I don't have a trumpet to put up to my patoot and go, "Here you go, have a listen to this."
Yeah.
I don't have that.
Don't have that.
I don't have that. But I could squeeze it with my hands and make various different trumpet noises.
Okay.
You know, I don't think I could play the famous Scatman song with my patoot.
I think that was at my end was a problem.
Really?
Can you? Yeah, I think it was at my end. I think
Is it gone now?
I think we're fine now.
Oh, that's great. Because I was sort of running around all my connections going, what the fuck have I done?
No, I think it was me.
Oh, cool. Oh, fuck, that's good. Because I have another of these wonderful disco headsets in my stores. Because they're like $14-15 a pop at your K Market. Is there anything we can do to help? Drugs, Dr. Abigail. Drugs is the answer.
Okay.
I usually have 2 or 3 of these disco headsets in storage because they're so cheap. You know, you go to K Market and they're like $14-15, and they have on them a button and a volume slide, and the button brings up your phone personal assistant, and it also brings up off and on, answer the phone, don't answer the phone, turn the phone off, makes the song go faster, or next song, last song. So it's useful to have the button.
Yeah.
And the sliding volume is really quite full on. So it's great. They're really great. They work really well. And so they're good to have, and they remind me how wonderful Elon Musk is.
Nice one.
Catch that.
Nice one.
Anyway, so I thought, oh fuck, I'll just have to rip out the new one and plug it in, and it should be right. Because usually when these fuck up, they fuck up royally, like they break. You know, like there is no getting around it. Oh, I'm looking at myself through myself. Wow.
I'm just I'm shooting a video while you talk. So
you're looking at me, you're looking at you.
That type of thing.
Amazing. Yeah. That's great. So yeah, I'm in that mode where I'd like to go out around and visit people, because like I've virtually lost a couple of jobs, right? So I've got fuck all to do except to watch Netflix and Crunchyroll and what's left of Funimation as they put it over in Crunchyroll.
Yeah.
I'd like to just, go and say hello to people. But I just got fucked over by the Indians. And so I've got to kind of really limit my spending. And I can't go anywhere anyway because I can't walk.
Nice.
And also a bit of a bummer is I had 4 specialists of import that had to give me the go, no go on traveling this Christmas, right?
Uh-huh.
I needed 2 of them to say yes.
Right.
Just 2 to say yes. And while we were away, I had the 3rd one go no.
Oh, dang.
I had one of them go yes, and the 3rd one went no. And I'm now not allowed officially to be more than an hour away from the Royal Melbourne Hospital.
Right.
Yep.
Dang.
So I was thinking, what about Royal Melbourne Hospital by F111 jet that
You'd still
passenger
be technically within.
an hour, right? It because I could go to the Royal I could go to Melbourne Airport in 20 minutes because they
Yeah.
go Mach 2.4, and
Yeah.
then I could get a helicopter from there because it'd have to come over from Essendon to get me, and
Yeah.
then helicopter me into Royal Melbourne, and that'd cost another 30 minutes,
Yeah.
and I'd be within an hour, right?
Sounds good.
And Medicare would pay for that. They'd be more than happy to take an F111 out of mothballs for me.
I think so.
Yeah.
See, I can't see a flaw in the plan, basically.
I can't see a flaw in the plan. I did bounce it to them.
Yeah.
But they said the ball was flat.
Oh,
Um,
I thought you were going to say
which
they embraced it enthusiastically.
I thought they should have embraced it enthusiastically. Maybe they embraced it too hard and broke the ball,
Often.
and so a mistake was made. Not that they made a mistake, because they never make a mistake. When they fuck up, they always come to you and say, a mistake has been made.
The passive voice.
And you just go, oh, what part of me are you going to cut off now? I never told you the story.
Which story?
When I had Dick gangrene,
Mhm.
right? You know how I was tied up for a little while because
Yeah.
I was sectioned because
Yeah.
I fell down the K hole. They had given me ketamine, expecting me to ride it out asleep, and I wasn't asleep. I was awake, going, I'm off my guts, and this is a good thing. And then I was like a passenger inside my own mind, and cut myself out of all my tubes and wires, and yeah, did bad things, did very bad things. And from then on in, they sectioned me. After my mother, my dear sweet mother, came in at 6 o'clock in the morning and said, "What the fuck happened?" And they said, "Well, we thought he'd be asleep." Oh, for fuck's sake! He's a drug pig. He'll ride out anything. Fuck's sake! You should have been watching him. Oh, we will be from now on, and they really did. Anyway, they had me strapped in like hand and foot, soft cuffed to the bed. Whenever I wanted to go to the toilet, they said we'll sort that out. And it was a bedpan underneath me, and I said, "Can I just go?" And they went, "No, no, 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 no. You're staying where you are." Anyway, so I meet the surgeons, okay,
Yeah.
and they go, "Hi." And I go, "Okay, I am at a social disadvantage here. Otherwise, I'd shake your hand. Thank you for the good work you've done in saving my life." And they went, "Yeah, look, we're going to have to pull the curtains because there's some bad news we have to tell you." And I went, that's not good. After you've just had your scrotum cut off,
Yeah.
that's not a good. If they say there's bad news after that, you're going, "Oh, I'm not in a good way. Bad things are coming down the tracks." So they put the soundproof curtains around me and said, "Your gangrene has unfortunately traveled to your foreskin and to the inside of your foreskin. And what it means is we're going to have to circumcise you and cut off your glans penis." And for those who don't know, that means the head of your dick has to get cut off. Okay, that's what your glans penis is. And I've gone, "I think you're making a mistake." And they said, "We know it's a shock mark." You seeing where I'm going with this?
Oh
Are
my
you seeing
God.
where I'm going with this?
Oh
Right.
my
They said,
God.
"We know it's a shock mark, but we haven't made a mistake." And I said, No, listen, I was circumcised neonatally. My name's not Mark, it's Adrian. And the guy in the bed next to me said, My name's Mark, and I heard everything you just said.
Oh God.
And I'm going, oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, my God. Oh, no, you poor
That's not
bastard.
great,
You poor
is it?
bastard. And they've looked at the chart and they've looked at my chart and they've gone, and their eyes were just like plates. They've
Yeah.
looked at each other and gone, what the fuck have we done? And then they've gone, excuse us. And then they didn't even say goodbye, Adrian. They just fucked off
Yeah.
and went
Okay.
next door to the guy. And he was like losing his fucking mind, right?
Which is fair.
And well, yeah, it was fair. And so guess what? He was in the soft cuffs as well for the rest of the day. For 3 months, he was on suicide watch because they did the operation that afternoon. And I can't imagine. I can't even imagine. I just can't. I don't want
Pretty
to.
full on.
Well, you know, he lost half his cock and all his balls. Yay. Wasn't he happy? And then, they brought in this counselor. Oh, God, they brought her in for me too. And she said to both of us, oh, well, you know, it's not the worst thing that can happen. And he said, fucking how? How would you like me to take this broken bottle and cut your tits off and just say randomly, that's what's got to just happen? And she said, oh, there's no need to get all aggressive about it. And he got quite aggressive about it verbally because he was tied up. He was foaming at the mouth. And eventually he got taken off to psych. Yeah, and he got brought back a month later. He was like a month in cuffs, then he was in psych in cuffs, and then he got brought back for a month in cuffs.
Right.
And they had him on so much juice. I think that their plan was just to keep him on juice until he fucking expired. Because I think that was going to be the way to go. Shit, it would have been for me, that's for sure. And he was a happy camper because he kept on clicking his green button and everyone was happy. My green button had gone by this stage. Ripped off. Totally ripped off. Utterly ripped off. And they were just giving me shitloads of morphine via the needle stick. But they weren't tight with it. Anyway, this is what leads to this. I went to the pain people and said, yeah, these toes have got holes in them. Do you want to maybe make them not hurt? And they said, sure. We're not going to give you any more drugs. And I went, that's not what I meant by not hurt. What I meant by not hurt was not hurt. And they said, yeah, okay, sure. We're not going to give you any more drugs. And I went, okay, let's try this one more time. And so they increased this particular medicine that I'm on that does fuck all. And I've been fainting while they've been working on my toes. And this has been noted down by the nurses and sent in to the pain people. Because it freaks the shit out of nurses when you faint while they're working on you. And I'm kind of glad because maybe they'll change their ways.
Just very briefly, because this is the money stuff. This is what people come to hear. This is great. They want medical horror. I'm gonna let you go. I'm gonna shoot a little 2-camera bit. It's like a minute or two because it's for a 1-minute YouTube video. So I'm gonna have the sound off and my microphone off while I do that. So show is yours, my brother.
Thanks. Thank you. I will do the thing for a minute, and I will recap you when you get back. And let's just assume Angry's gone. what else did I find out while I was away? I found out that a mate of mine has cancer of the testicles. He's really unhappy about that. They initially thought it was cancer of the prostate gland, and they gave him a gold amphelon right through his prostate gland, and he thought that was kind of cool. It was radiated, so they give you this radioactive amphelon right through your prostate gland, and that does the thing. And then they found out it wasn't there after they cut out his prostate gland. He was an unhappy camper when he found out they'd cut out the wrong thing. And then they cut out his testicles. And he's gone, I hope they fucking fix this shit up. But apparently what they're going to do, and this I didn't know you could do this, but apparently they do this, is they've got these they're a rubber and silicon compound. They're quite old, like they're quite tested, yeah. That replace your testicles when they have to be cut out, and so they pop them back in, and then they sew them up again really finely, like with really fine stitching, and then they basically give you injectable or rub-onable hormones until such time, well, forever in his case. And apparently you can live a fairly normal life. The trick, though, is they're going to have to give him a robotic prostate gland. I didn't know this thing existed. And I have no idea how it would work. I have no idea how it would receive the signals that it would need to do its thing. Would you control it? Would you have a remote control that you press the button and away you go? I'm actually going to wait till Angry comes back on and ask him about this because he might know. But it blows my mind that you could have a robotic prostate gland. Is it an AI thing? Is it a I don't know. Do you? Yeah. What have you got to do to make this thing go? Is it controlled by the amount of pressure that's around it? It's just, I know a lot of stuff, right? I know most of the missions to the outer planets. One of them, for example, was triangle and caught the heart shape on Pluto. But I don't know about robotics prostate glands. Now,
well, that was
Angry,
a good one to come back on. Prostate
I'm glad you're back. I was just telling the peeps. I found out a friend of mine had testicular cancer, and they cut out his testicles, otherwise he would die. And he was an unhappy camper because originally they told him he had prostate cancer. And what they did was they gave him a gold amphelon right through his prostate, right? That had been irradiated. The gold had been irradiated. And he thought this was kind of cool, that he had a piercing of gold right through his prostate. And he was going, yeah, fucking cool. Amphelon of gold through my prostate. And they said, well, that's not working. We have to cut out your prostate. So they did. And he was going, well, that's a bit of a bummer. or not, so to speak. And then
That's
they
a comparatively subtle reference.
and then they found out no, that the cancer's in your testicles, and he's gone, and the prostate. Well, the thing about the testicles, right, is that they've got these things that are apparently quite old. They're quite tested. They're like a rubber and silicon compound with saline sort of in the middle to give them a bit of squish. And they can pop them in there and sew them finally in, and they feel just like
fake testicles. Sorry, I thought you were talking about real testicles were made of plastic.
No.
Confused.
No. They're fake testicles, and they feel kind of real.
Yeah.
And they can either inject you with hormones, or they can rub it on or whatever for the rest of your life, and you're fine. But the prostate's a whole different ballgame. And they said they were going to give him a robotic prostate. And I was going, I know a lot of stuff, but how the fuck would that work? Have you got like a remote control where you just go, yeah, now's good? Or does it work on, nerve signals? Or does it work on, pressure around it? Or how does that go? And I sort of didn't want to, going to hassle him about it then and there, because he was kind of a bit down about it. Who knew? Who knew? I will be asking him if it's a going concern. But they said, yeah, we're going to give you a robotics. I keep wanting to say scrotum, a robotic prostate. And I don't know, is it miniaturized, right? Or does it come in like a thing shaped like a can? You got like your dick there, and then a can, and the rest of your dick.
I don't know.
So, is it a D-cell battery that they just, say, your dick looks a little bit, don't ask. Just open up.
Could they have LEDs? I thought an LED display built in could be good.
It would, wouldn't it? My bits are glowing. I know, dear. How else do you think Mr. Data reproduces? That's it.
Robotic prostate.
Data, Mr. Data. Because I remember there was a whole fucking episode where he said, my name's not Data, it's Data.
Depends where you went to school.
No. There was an episode on Next Gen where he said, my name's not Data, it's Data.
Yeah. That's like, my name's not Sia Barnett Siobhan. I can spell,
I always like calling Sebahans. I like that. It's Siobhan. Well, at the moment it's bitch. So you can work back up to Sebahan, and then maybe we'll go to Sheva. But season 2, episode 1, a conversation with Dr. Pulaski. Thank you, Dr. Abigail. I knew you would come through for me. I knew. Blip, 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 blip. Dr. Abigail needs some information on Star Trek.
On the trends.
See, I was right about something. Again, a reason why we should honor Elon Musk.
Yeah. Actually, speaking of sci-fi, there's an adaptation of William Gibson's The Peripheral on Prime. It's really fucking good.
Wow.
And it's a long time since I read The Peripheral. I listened to the audiobook of the sequel just this year. But from my memory, they've decided to do fairly radical plot divergences for the show.
Yeah.
Which, it makes sense. Yeah, you're taking the spine of the thing and the characters and the core elements but you're doing something at least slightly different with it. So surprises for people who read the book. Like I said, it's a long time since I've read it, but I'm sure like they're not small changes. They're actually quite big ones.
Quite big ones. It reminds me of two things, actually, which I'll talk about next. Yeah.
Are they testicles?
No.
Big ones?
No.
No? What are you? What
no.
are your ones?
I saw the Netflix versions of The Sandman.
That's good.
Which is really good, but short. My migraine meds haven't even kicked in, and I'm kicking ass with Star Trek references. True story. Dr. Abigail, true story. No one is going to be giving you shit over that. No one. Especially one person in a cocktail drinking shirt. Basically, they've taken The Sandman, which is a fucking enormous volume graphic novel, and gone, here is the first series. And you can see that they've gone, let's put out a series and see if everyone hates it.
Yeah.
But we'll put bits in it that are cool and see if everyone likes it. And everyone's going to go, this is fucking awesome. And then they're obviously going to do series after series after series after series because they've got so much fucking content to go with. And they've taken bits of lots of the different novels and put it in a show each.
They've taken the first two major story arcs and and there's the bonus they did at the end of some one-offs. Because that's how the comics went, for those who don't know. There'd be major story arcs and there'd be interludes with self-contained one-off stories. And they changed a lot in that too.
Yeah, well, they had to. They had to because it's so involved. It's so fucking involved that you just can't. You know, fuck, some of the side stories of the arcs would go for an entire series. Easily go for an entire series. And so they have to get it in there somehow. I was happy that they got, I'm just going to say, Immortal Guy in there. That's all I'm going to say.
Oh, look, again, anyone who has even a passing interest in it, that's highlighted as one of the best episodes of the series with Hob Gadling. And that is ultimately a very important story for a couple of reasons.
You don't know why until lots later.
Yeah. There's a lot they threw in this first season that is stuff that will come back years down the track
and bite you.
That's how the story works. One was only vaguely referred to. That's the people of Faerie. William Shakespeare was in there for a brief moment, and Hob comes back in other stories as well.
There's so much to live for. I love his line. There's so much to live for.
Yeah,
it's like, really.
Here's a bit of trivia, because Sandman was originally published in the 90s, early 90s. And the thing with Morpheus visiting Hob once every 100 years, it was kind of important because it was important the year that he visited William Shakespeare. You couldn't change that year. And yet this is being made 30 years after that was published. And so they just rolled with it. They just was like, Morpheus was still imprisoned when Hob went for the 20th century visit. And some 30 years later, he is out of his prison and he goes and finds Hob. So they just rolled with that. They go, we can't change those dates. So Hob just has to not lose faith for 30 years.
And he does the big spray paint. New in that way. Why? Why would anyone do that? And Morpheus goes, oh, okay.
I guess I'll go down there. Yeah.
I know who did this and I know why.
Yeah.
And there he is sorting out photocopies.
Yeah.
And that's one thing I love about Hob is like nothing in the new world phases him. It's
Yeah, he
like
just adapts.
it's
He keeps
it just
adapting.
it's just like, oh yeah, we're here now. We're just gonna do this now.
Mm.
So that was brilliant. Sandman was brilliant, and I think they're clearly gonna do more series of that because it really went off.
Well, it
The
was
other
very
thing,
interesting because I'm following Neil Gaiman on Twitter, and everyone's going because it was the top rated show on Netflix for a couple of weeks,
well,
and people say,
yeah,
well, obviously they're going to do another season,
more.
and Neil Gaiman kept being quite modest about it, and he's saying it's a really expensive show to make. It's not a straightforward decision for
No,
them to say they'll do
no.
more. They have now done, but here's the interesting thing. Okay, so I got Netflix. If you leave your Netflix on and don't watch anything, like a screensaver thing starts, and you get these full page images of shows, and it'll be a 3-word description of it. And if a show has an upcoming new season, there'll be another thing that says new season starting to, or if the season's in development, it'll be, it's official, a new season's coming. Just recently, the Sandman slide started saying it's official, new episodes are coming. That's interesting because
That is interesting.
what they normally say is a new season is coming. In this case, they've said new episodes are coming. So
I wonder if they've decided to go movie style because they do that.
they could,
They do that.
like Black
In
Mirror. That's what they
Netflix.
do with Black Mirror.
They go, okay, this is good and people love it, but it's got enough grunt in it to do movies of it and to do, because the Marvel franchise has shown us that you can punch out movie after movie. Star Wars has shown us you can punch out movie after movie and people will still go. And I also watched Cyberpunk 2077 Edge
Oh, the
Runners.
anime. Yeah.
And everybody and their fucking dog ran the shit through Cyberpunk 2077. I watched the teaser for a few years before it came out, going, this is going to be awesome when it comes out. Because it looked like it was going to be just kick ass. They put so much work into it. And then, of course, the fucking the publisher got in the way.
Oh, the game was a bit of a disaster.
The game was a disaster. It had glitches everywhere. They'd obviously published it too fast. They said this is your publish date, and you may not deviate from it. They needed another year to get it right. And if they'd have taken the other year, it would have been the most amazing thing ever. But
bearing in mind they were 5 years late as it was. So
Pixar's one of the most Disney. Pixar's one of the most successful entertainment companies on earth. They will blow a movie out of the water for between 5 and 7 years if the story's not right. They nearly had both the Iron Giant and it wasn't Nemo, it was the other one underwater.
Shark Tale or something.
No, the mermaid.
Littlest Mermaid.
Littlest Mermaid. Thank you. They nearly had them done. And then they went back through the story and said, no, it's not right. Do it again. That's money. That's a lot of money.
Oh, sorry. No, I know what you're saying. I think you're getting confused because Little Mermaid's Disney, not Pixar. Pixar, yeah, no, you get that on the extra features. Toy Story 2, they completely shit-canned.
Sorry.
Toy Story 2, they completely shit-canned.
It was Toy Story 2. They shit-canned it right. It was nearly done. And they went, no, you're going back and doing it again from the fucking from the storyboards. Now that's so much money in so many years.
Yeah.
And they said,
Dr. Abigail's retiring because of a migraine.
Okay. See you, Dr. Abigail.
See you another time, Dr. Abigail.
I'm not going to ask any more Star Trek questions at all.
Because our voice of authority's gone.
Well, how can I know? How can I know? So they basically go, we don't give a fuck because we know we're going to get the money back if we get it right. And they are correct if they get it right. Weta has done the same fucking thing.
Yeah.
Except they don't do it with their advertisements. When Weta gets an advertisement, they put everybody on it and they get it out on schedule. Because it's 30 seconds as opposed to 3.5 hours.
Yes.
And I knew that I knew that Sandman was expensive because Weta, who usually does everything, right, did only a bit of Sandman.
Right.
Other houses were doing Sandman as well. Yeah. And I was going, fuck, that would cost. That would really cost.
Yes.
Because Jackson has been known to say, I'm going to give you a quote. It's not going to go over this quote, but the quote is going to make you cry. And people see the quote and they go, my balls just got kicked through my nose and I'm crying, but it's Weta and I know it's going to be right and I know I'm going to get my money back.
Oh.
Hold me.
Sorry, that explains why Dr. Abigail's having a bad migraine.
Jeez, don't do that, doctor.
Caffeine withdrawal is notorious for just being brutal AF.
Yeah, I do it in stages, hon.
Well, I think she's probably got a plan.
Yeah, I'd say so. She's probably smarter than me. I'm not saying is. I'm just saying probably.
You're leaving a grey area.
It's a grey area. Yeah. So I saw Cyberpunk 2077, the anime, and it was awesome. It was fucking awesome. They did a wonderful job. It's strictly a one series shot.
Yeah.
There will be no other series, and I can tell you that for fucking sure. There are reasons I can tell you that, but I'm not going to spoil it.
Well, I'll throw in one season of that storyline, but it's a big world in Cyberpunk, and they could do completely different stories in it. Because, for instance, the game is a completely different story in there. So
yes, they could do completely different stories, but
you could do anthology type stuff. So yeah.
Oh, they might be looking at an Arcadia or a Seven Deadly Sins type situation. Yeah, okay, they could, but the money would be just expensive. You know what I mean? And I also saw it was another game that they'd done called come on, think fast, dickhead.
Witcher.
No, it wasn't Witcher. It was something. It wasn't the Secrets of Arcadia.
No, I just threw that in because CD Projekt Red did Witcher, so I didn't know what you were saying.
No, there is a lot of Witcher anime out there. There is a lot of that out there. It was really well done, and they it was straight out of the game, but they changed it. Doesn't matter. Let it go. It was in the same vein as the Final Fantasy people. They'd obviously seen Final Fantasy and gone, we can do that too. And the they'd made the movie, and it was obviously a one shot out of that one storyline, and they did a really good job of it. Sadly, it was one of those movies where no one wins at the end. Everybody loses.
It's sad for everyone.
Everybody loses. And you just go, oh, hun, if you'd have known this before you did that, everybody would have actually won. It was actually, it was all about communication, which no one did.
Yeah.
So there was that. So I've watched a lot of stuff. Weta is just Weta and Pixar, who is now Disney.
Yeah.
It was that Disney took over Pixar in inverted quotes. It was a reverse takeover.
Yes.
Disney was saying
the other way.
Yeah, Disney was saying we are dying on our feet. Pixar, please save us. We will buy you. And Pixar said, yep, no problem. And Pixar then went right through and said, you are changing everything. And you are going to stop being afraid of spending money on your films. And then they sold 3 films straight away that were massive hits immediately, made their money back and made a profit so they could keep on, building films. And Pixar calls it building films, not making them. One of the funniest things I've ever seen was in the Impossibles. It is the Impossibles, isn't it? The family. Incredibles. Thank you. I saw the making of, right? And one of the things
I know where you're going.
You know where I'm going with this.
Yeah.
One of the things that they have is the teenage daughter's hair.
Yes.
Is a special kind of mathematical movement, and in the film it looks fucking gorgeous. They did a fucking brilliant job of it. And the producer, whose job it is to keep everything under budget, is already $400 million over budget, and gets Tools, who is the people responsible for the hair, and the director to sit down at the table and says, now we are $400 million over budget. So you can imagine that I am keen to save money where I can. The hair for, I can't even remember her name. The hair for her is approximately $86 million over budget, which is a large proportion of $400 million, is $86 million over budget. How are we going on that? And the director's sitting there sweating bullets, right? The producer's speaking. The director's there like eating his finger knuckle. And Tools guy, who looks like he's goth, basically says, yeah, at this stage, the hair is still theoretical. And then the producer stands up and breathes in and starts to shout, and the whole screen goes black. We do not hear what happens next. We do not see what happens next. We don't know what happens next. But vein work was done, right? That was not a thing he wanted to hear. At $86 million over budget, and it's theoretical. Now, as it was, they actually sold the algorithm for the hair to 3 Japanese animation companies.
Yeah, because it was very difficult.
Before the movie was even finished. And they actually sold a few other things. The movie was in profit before it hit cinemas. Before The Incredibles hit cinemas, it was actually in profit.
That's what you get for being groundbreaking.
And it just was basically, there was zero problem. It could have shit itself at the box office and no one would have given a shit. But that's not how Pixar does things. And essentially, the hair made a ton of cash. The Japanese said, "Yeah, we'll have that. We'll have quite a bit of that actually, because in anime, they've been having. Can you remember the blocky anime hair they'd had for years and years
Yeah,
and years?
just a
It was
solid
all,
non-moving block.
it was like block, and they'd move the blocks around on the head, and it looked like hair, and they got away with it. But now, of course, in anime, all the hair is just flowing and beautiful, and the first one they did it for was was a Final Fantasy. It was the movie. It was one of the movies of Final Fantasy, and the bad guys had these long, flowing, beautiful hair that just flowed in the motorcycles that they drove, and the good guys had flowing hair, and it was just like, no problem.
All right. I'm just going to
and
turn my microphone off for a second while I shake this because it makes terrible noise for someone who has headphones on.
Okay, no problem. Shakety shake, shakety shake, shakety shake. He's not even shaking. Shakety shake, shakety shake, shakety shake. I feel somehow used by being the guy who has to go shakety shake when he does that. Shakety shake, shakety shake, shakety shake, shakety shake, tap, pour, shakety shake, shakety shake, shakety shake.
Thank you for the running commentary.
Well, every time you do that, I go shakety shake because I have to be the guy that says shakety shake instead of you shaking. I feel used. I've got to reply to this message because it's very important.
All right, you do that. I'm just here doing a thing, straining a drink into a special glass. Oh man, I'm so fucking smart. I got the wash line perfect. That's it to me.
Is that real, or are you being facetious?
No, I got the wash line perfect. Look at that. Look how good that looks.
That does look pretty good, man.
All right, now I've got to move everything over here and do the talky bit.
Am I going to have to go shakety shake again?
Well, I'm going to be talky. Actually, I'm going to fake a shakety shake to camera. You'll be no stranger to the fact that TV and by extension YouTube is a complete lie. When people say they're doing stuff, even when they show you doing it, they're not necessarily doing it.
Oh, I'm always doing it. When you see the camera going shake 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 shake, I'm always doing it.
Yeah, well, point taken.
I was so upset today.
Yeah.
I was listening to my favorite podcast and found out that he was a sinstrel,
What's that?
a left-handed individual.
Oh, Sinistral, yeah.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
I know, you think you know someone.
He said, "Oh, I hurt my left hand. I'm left-handed. It ruins my masturbation." I'm going, good.
Yeah, you don't deserve masturbation.
Good, you sinister fuck. Why don't you fucking ruin everyone else's fucking day with your fucking hand of the devil? Fucking left-handers.
Before I forget, I'm gonna do my fake shaky to the camera.
Fake shake to the camera.
And I will turn the microphone off again because it will be loud. Just gotta set up the shot. Okay, let's go.
Have you ever seen how Angry always does his hair before he sets up a shot?
Now shut the fuck up.
Even if he's just doing a shaky to camera.
I washed my hair today and it's all floofy and it goes everywhere. I've got to
I'm
have
sorry.
some.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I am so.
Anyway, yeah, I'm going to turn the speaker off while I do this as well, so you can make fun of me incessantly, and I won't even know.
I won't do that. You
No,
know I don't
you
do
won't.
that. You know I don't do that. Floofy hair. Floofy fucking hair. Shaky fucking. Yeah. Just do your hair. Come on. One more time for your hair. Oh, I thought he was going to floof his hair one more time. I really want him to do that for me. No, he's not going to do that for me. I can tell. There's just too much straight going on in that guy. Yeah. Mind you, has he dyed his hair? Does anyone know? He's the only one who can actually put the comments up on the screen. So if you're telling me, I don't know. I mean, I could press buttons and stuff and find out, but by the time I did that, it would be, back to camera and things would be. Sorry about that. Big breathe out there from AIDzee. Don't mind me. I'm just about to take a shitload of drugs. But they're Panadols, so don't get too. You shouldn't take drugs. Panadol's not really a drug. It's really just a. I often think it's a placebo wrapped up in something that makes you feel rough in the guts. It's just a liver toxifier. I think that's all that Panadol does. Pardon me, please. Maybe we should have had shaky, because with me burping and popping drugs out and eating them with my fizzy drink. Usually I drink Hitler Coke that's non-sugared, but there was no non-sugared Hitler Coke, so I had to buy sugared Hitler Coke. Why do I call Fanta Hitler Coke? Because in the Second World War, Coca-Cola bottlers didn't want to shut down their factories, but they weren't allowed to import Coca-Cola syrup into Germany, so they had their chemists organize something else. Germany wanted something that would pretend to be citrus, and so they said, we'll make it orange Coke. And so they had Fanta, orange Coke. And that's why I call it Hitler Coke. I was just telling everyone why I call this Hitler Coke.
Oh, no, true story.
Yeah. I was also telling everyone I wanted you to do the shaky thing on me, but you were too straight too, so what are you going to do?
What are you going to do?
And then I was going to say, it's a bit rough, him not doing the shaky thing when I'm burping and then taking a shitload of drugs on camera. What's more gross?
Also, just really quickly, because you don't see the chat, from a bit earlier when you were talking about a different anime series based on computer game, Megaleech put in, and this is also what I actually thought you were talking about, it was League of Legends Arcane.
Yes. It was
I think
one
that's
with
what you were
girl.
talking about.
It was Overcity and Undercity, and the kids were trying to steal some shit, and they did, and it's very political.
Yes, it really is. It really is.
There's a good guy Undercity and a bad guy Undercity, and the bad guy Undercity wins and steals the youngest daughter, and the oldest daughter gets put into jail forever, and then she gets out and she looks for the family, and they're all dead except for the youngest daughter, who's up in the head like wildly.
Don't
fucked
they
up.
do a good job of visually representing extreme trauma?
It
Just
was
her
so good.
schizophrenia.
Her schizophrenia was so good. Shut up,
Mm,
I'm trying to think. And it was all of the people in the past
yeah,
that she felt guilt over.
yeah.
It was all the
And
family.
also, I'll throw in just a different point of view, and I have nothing to base this on but my feel. You were saying that they wouldn't make another season of that. I personally felt like the end was deliberately set up as a cliffhanger to make another season. So,
Really?
yes, because they didn't even show you what happened. They really strongly suggested what. Yeah, but okay, the bomb didn't go off. Okay, and she's crazy, and this is not out
Okay.
of the realms of
Okay.
possibility. She might have just been trying to scare them, and she sent a shell through their window. And if they wanted that to be over, there would have been an explosion. If, like, basically, if that shell detonates, everyone who rules the Overcity is dead. But the
My
fact that
impression
they didn't show it.
was that she and everyone in Undercity bought it, and everyone in Overcity bought it at the same time. It was one of those.
I think you should go. I think you should go and rewatch it because I really don't
You
think that's what
reckon?
happened. I'm.
I
I
will.
am.
I really
I'll go
will.
to. I am 100% sure. Um, I'm a
I
big
totally will, because
believer.
my impression was we have come to an understanding on both sides. We have come to an understanding that is going to fix it for everyone. And because we didn't communicate it early enough, that's where it all comes apart. And it all comes apart. That was
Yeah.
my feeling.
Well,
Um,
the crazy one launched a super weapon at the council,
she
and
did. Oh no, she so
but
most certainly did.
it didn't detonate. The shell crashed through the stained glass window behind them, and it froze. And that's it. And I'm a very big believer, if you don't show an explicit and unmistakable death on screen, there's a reason you don't show an explicit and unmistakable death on screen, because they're not dead.
I I will totally grant you that, but in that particular movie,
Mm-hmm.
there was a lot of blood in the gutter. There was a lot of blood in the gutter, and
Again,
I really think, but I'll have another look. I'll definitely have another look, because it's worth it. Fuck, the whole movie is
I
worth
really
another look.
enjoyed it. Yeah, I really
Yeah,
enjoyed it.
it's really well done, and the stylization of it was
I
so
love the
odd.
art of it. Yes, the
It
story
was
was good, but the
so
art
odd.
style was good.
You know, it was a mixture of this sort of Chinese, Japanese, Western animation,
Yeah, it
just
was like
all pumped together.
it was
Um,
partly anime and it was partly very sort of painterly in the style.
right. So all of
It was
the
good.
the misty stuff, that was all Chinese. All of that was very Chinese. All of the actional, the activity movement was all very Japanese, and all of the perspective and color was all very Renaissance painting, and it was, you know what I mean. It was all
Yeah.
very jamming the best of all of it together. Because I kept on expecting a dragon to appear with the
Yeah.
smoke
Yeah. You
out of
wouldn't have
the
been surprised if
nostrils.
it did.
You know, it was like that was the feel that I got, and then that whole really modern approach to her seeing her illness,
Mm.
um, and us seeing her illness,
Yes.
um, and a real trauma, and the fact that her new father fucked her over badly, and he broke her mind.
Yeah.
You know, because you hear her say, "You told me this story again and again and again and again," and you wonder how many other stories he's told her again and again and again and again. So he's got his little girl knowing, but then you find out that he believes she's his little girl.
Yeah.
He believes that.
He actually does care about
I
her.
didn't understand that until right at the end when you go, he actually believes that what he's done is the right thing.
Yeah.
And I was blown away. Now I'm going to stop talking about that because people who haven't seen this won't know what the fuck we're talking about.
Yeah, that's fair
and,
enough.
I kind of don't want to keep them out of the loop. And also, I am so running out of spoons.
Well, that's good,
so
man. You've
fast.
done really well.
So I'm going to bail before I seize
you've done extremely well, man. It's been great seeing you. And I didn't shout at
wonderful.
You once.
Hey?
I didn't shout at you once, even though you kept bringing up Elon Musk.
I thought it'd go clink. Here, you catch that.
It worked. It was funny. I loved it.
I just thought, yeah. I have been doing a bit of research on that guy, and I'm going to do some more, and then I'm going to have a big conversation with you about him and some others.
Yeah.
Particularly some other Australians, one fat woman Australian, particularly, and some other Americans, because I think there's a common ground in there.
Well, they're all part of the same club.
Yes, I think you're right, but I also see that some of them have done things that will help humanity, and some of them have done things that won't. But we will see. We will talk about it another time. Big love on you.
Alrighty.
Biggest love on all of the viewers. You rule my world. And I hope that only good things come your way.
Alrighty.
See you later.
Look after yourself, man. Catch you later.
Catch you. Bye.
Bye. It was always nice to see AIDzee. And as much as he ran out of steam, went very strong for an hour there. So that's pretty good. So looking, because Safa mentioned chat, the German government almost overthrown again. I don't think so. I have no idea what you're referring to, because I just looked at the various news sites and there's no reference to anything else happening. But I did find this looks like it could be interesting. A Guardian article on it. Were they dangerous or were they just weirdos? So I'm looking at, yes, good old 64-year-old Maximilian Eder was arrested. None of the coup plotters were well-known public figures. Their social background raised eyebrows. Family doctors, judges, gourmet chefs, opera singers. Several of the ragtag bunch of wannabe revolutionaries seem to have been radicalized. And they also had people with a military background. His inclusion of a former Bundestag delegate of the far-right Alternative for Deutschland rang the shrillest alarm bells. Ex-MP Birgit Molsack-Winkelmann would have had knowledge of security arrangements, special access to privileges of the parliamentary buildings. So there's a list of potential targets. Included the Green Foreign Minister, Conservative opposition leader, co-leader, General Secretary of the Social Democratic Party. Germany's president said he was deeply concerned, describing it as a new level. So, could they have posed a serious threat? There's a lot of debate. Select newspapers and camera crews had been informed of the Dawn raids in advance. Led to criticism that the operation was designed as a PR job. Conservative Swiss paper had an editorial. The German security agencies wanted to flex their muscle in front of the world. So, yes, they're saying it's a PR stunt. Within hours of the arrest, newspapers were doing it. Let's see. So, retired military commander has been on the radar of intelligence agencies since 2021 when he joined German anti-vax markets. Anti-vaxxers, man. They're fucking dangerous. The video message may hint less at strategic geniuses plotting in the shadows than old men trapped in the echo chamber of the internet. Some people say the right-wing troublemakers aren't taken seriously enough. I don't know if there's anything substantive here. No, I think it still comes back to how the fuck were they ever going to get? Oh, Johnny, Jesus, sorry. You literally just missed AIDzee. Sorry. Damn it. No, AIDzee was here for about an hour. Oh, well, that sucks. Regaling us with medical tales and more. All right, so we're still talking about these weirdos in Germany. Terrorism expert Peter Newman says, don't believe they would have overthrown the government. The question is, how much damage would they have caused trying to? So, one of the few unifying features of this movement is a tendency to hoard guns and ammunitions. Yes, that is worrying. Don't know what other weapons they may have stashed. So this guy, Peter Newman, professor of security studies, likened the jokes about senile fantasists to British media coverage of Abu Hamza, former Imam of London's Finsbury Park Mosque. He was portrayed as this ridiculous clown with a hook and an eye patch. And for years, even security agencies didn't take him seriously. Only later did we find out he was instrumental in bringing hundreds of people into terrorist networks. Germany's latest domestic intelligence report put the potentially violent number of this group at 2,100. Comparable with 1,950 individuals listed as having potential for Islamist terrorist violence. I don't believe, saying don't believe they could have overthrown the government. Of course they couldn't have, but they could have caused damage. Oh, interesting. Oh, yeah, you'll see him on the move. Sorry, I think Minzy is back at the door that someone has closed. All right, Minzy, yes, you are. You're banging at the door. There's one at the door. How's my clarified cocktail going? Pretty goddamn good. All right. I'll be able to put that away at the end of the stream. It's looking very golden. It's a nice urine sample from someone who needs more hydration, basically. That's all well and good. All right, so the German fruitcakes are fruitcakes. Oh. Is there anything else happening in the world? Anything? Now we've got a whole bunch of stuff about people being dead. That's depressing. That's there was a fun bit of news. 100-million-year-old plesiosaur skeleton found in outback Australia. That's a fun bit of news, quite honestly. God, there's all these stories about people misbehaving at Christmas parties. One of the fuckwits from Sky News is in trouble, and it's been like the third time he's been in trouble for inappropriate behavior at Christmas parties. It's like, how many fucking free goes do these people get? And then it's saying, the AIDzee is saying, a union heavyweight headbutts rival at Christmas party. Well, that's fun, isn't it? People getting a bit emotional at Christmas parties. Yeah, I can hear it's raining a bit more outside. So, Labour MPs believe Daniel Andrews has been given a mandate for bold change. What will he do with it? Good question. So, actually, now I'm kind of interested in that idea. Oh God, now it's really starting to rain outside. Size of the victory, as well as the likelihood of a largely progressive crossbench, provides Daniel Andrews with a mandate to tackle important reform, includes scrapping group voting tickets, overhauling the criminal justice child protection systems. Andrews did not shy away from the subject at a press conference. What else? Want to reform bail laws? Were introduced in 2017 with the idea they targeted violent men, but they disproportionately affect Aboriginal Victorians and women. Battle for the Heartland. Want to rebuild trust with Melbourne's northern and western suburbs, where the party saw swings up to 15% away from it. New Liberal leader, John Pizzuto, keenly aware of challenges facing Labor, but he faces challenges of his own. Deputy David Southwick says the Liberal Party brand needs work. It's not resonating with large parts of the community. Dang. They suck, and they need to know they suck. Oh well, who knows? Oh no, honey. It's raining but no breeze, so it'll miss your planter boxes. There was quite a bit of wind here earlier. I don't know what it's like now. I can't hear any wind. What's the old radar doing? Oh God, there's still it's going to rain all night. There's a fuck ton of rain about. It's going to rain when I'm going to work tomorrow. I fucking hate that. Oh well. C'est la vie. These challenges are sent to try us. Just got to soldier on, I guess. Oh well. Cocktails and canapes. That's not a party. Okay. So the far north has got heat waves and humidity and storms. Relentless 48 degrees Celsius coming heat wave. That must be up north. Northwest Australia is potentially going to reach 40. That humans can't live in that. Birdsville reached 45.6. Jervois and Northern Territory hit 44.9. Good God, that fucking sucks. So areas like 80 Mile Beach in Western Australia's Pilbara are forecast to hit 48 Celsius on Sunday, while Marble Bar, which is notoriously the hottest place in Australia, is expecting 46 Celsius. Jesus. But weirdly, cold fronts on the east coast got to -7 in Perisher up in the mountains, which is ridiculous. We're having a really cool week this week while the fucking north is just getting torched by those weathers. Here's a cheerful heading. Is this an opinion piece? Dear Year 12, if you're going to start a career at the end of the world, you may as well follow your dreams. So this is going to be written by Anna Spargo Ryan. She's a writer I quite like. So she's saying when she got VCE results, the two goals: get drunk and do something that would be a real job. She's saying she was in her 30s by the time she managed to follow her dream. 3 books published. That's not bad. I've read one of them. It's good. This year, my younger child finished VCE. They've always been an artist. My instinct was gently insist on a fallback plan, watch their art develop. They're good at it, and, fuck it. Why not follow your dream through the apocalypse? What's the worst that can happen? You won't be able to retire? Every year, hundreds of people write articles about how their ATAR meant nothing in the end. Do VCE students read Midlife Guardian Australia columnists? I do not know. I mean, honestly, yeah, I get it. If everything sucks, why not just do something you want to do? Because we never know how much time we've got in this world. That's a cheery. Actually, I think that is a positive thing. I'm taking that as a positive. Being positive. There's a thing that won't show up, and there's like, I think it's. You probably won't be able to read it, but you can see there's something etched on the top when I hold it against the black. The glass from Bar Americano, which is now defunct, closed down very recently because of a bastard landlord. I got these glasses during lockdown. Etched on the lip of them, it says, "Drink less, drink better." I know, I had 2 whole eggs tonight. I don't know if that's drinking better. And yes, bum fungus, the old follow your dreams thing is certainly a product of privilege. But yeah, we live in strange times. So who knows? I am actually going to sign off. It's very slightly early. It's just before 10. I'm going to sign off, do a couple of things before I go to bed. So I hope you find people stay well. Hope to see you again another time. Who knows? AIDzee might be back another time too. Anything could happen. But I'm going to depart now. Bid you farewell. Take care.